Hi everyone, I'm here to discuss a very interesting topic that is buoyancy. It is used widely in our daily lives, which makes it further interesting. Let's see a few examples to get a clear picture of it. Take a bucket of water. Try to push an inverted glass bottle into the bucket. What do you experience? We have to apply downward force. It means bottle is experiencing an upward force, isn't it? The upward force is due to the force exerted by the water on the bottle containing the enclosed air opposing the downward motion of the bottle. Now let's see another example. Take an empty plastic bottle which is covered and push it to the under of the bucket and now release it. What do you see? It floats on the water, right? In the above examples, the upward force experienced by an object immersed in liquid is called upthrust or buoyant force. This force acts opposite to the force of gravity. Now let's see what is buoyancy. The property of liquid to exert an upward force on an object immersed in it is called buoyancy. That is, buoyancy is the ability of an object to float. There are several factors that depends on buoyancy. It is dependent on the volume of the object. As the volume of the object increases, buoyant force also increases. The next one is density. As the density of the object of the fluid increases, the buoyant force also increases. Now let's see what are the forces in action during buoyancy. The first one is buoyant force, that is the upward force on an object. And the next one is gravitational force, the downward force on an object. And there is pressure from all sides around the object. Now let's see the equation for buoyant force. That is B is equal to rho F into V into G. B is the buoyant force, rho F is the density of the fluid in kilogram per meter cube, and V is the displaced body volume of liquid in kilogram per meter cube, and G is the acceleration due to gravity, that is 9.8 meter per second. Have you ever wondered why a person feels lighter when we lift them in water? This is because the buoyant force is helping you. In water, it's you and the buoyant force versus their weight. On the other hand, on land, it's you versus the weight. Because of the buoyant force, the person feels lighter in water when you pick them up. Now let me tell you an interesting story from the 3rd century about the floating of ships. The discovery of the principle behind the floating of ships dates back to the 3rd century BC. The story behind the discovery goes like this. A Greek man was taking a bath in a bathtub. It triggered something in his brain when the water overflowed while he immersed himself in it. He found the answer to the question which he was puzzling on for a long time and started running in the streets shouting Eureka. When you hear the word Eureka, I hope that you all understood who the person is. That man was Archimedes, and the principle he discovered was named after him, the Archimedes principle. Archimedes' principle states that an upward force that is exerted on a body immersed in a fluid, whether fully or partially submerged, is equal to the weight of the fluid that the body displaces. That is, the weight of the body displaces a weight that is equal to the force applied on the body. Now, we have learned that as the density increases, the buoyant force also increases. The density of pure water is 1000 kg per meter cube. Normally, objects having density less than that of water floats on it. As materials like oil, wood, plastic, etc. are less dense than water, they easily float on water. But how does a ship made of steel float while the nail or coin made of the same steel sink? Well, that's an interesting question. The steel has a density higher than that of water, but when it is used to construct a ship, the newly formed vessel structure's average density gets reduced because of the air that occupies the inner portion of the vessel compartment. When this ship is in water, two forces act upon it. The first one is the gravitational force due to the ship's weight, and the second one is upward buoyancy force equal to the weight of the water displaced by the ship. When buoyant force is equal to more than that of gravitational force, the ship continues to float. Saying of the ships, we all know a famous ship, that is Titanic. I hope many of you have seen the movie Titanic. In 1912, during its voyage from Southampton to New York, Titanic hit an iceberg and there was a huge inflow of water into the compartments. This caused the gravitational force to increase above the buoyant force and the ship sank into the deep depths of Atlantic Ocean. This is all about buoyancy. Hope you all enjoyed the video. Thank you.